What up? What up? What up? What up? What up? Though, what's good? What's up, everybody? Man, it's Aaron Duncan here. I am back again with a live stream. We got to break down and react. We just introduced the new head coach and general manager for the Carolina Panthers today. Introductory press conference. The news broke last week about Dave Canales, and with the Senior Bowl and stuff going on, they couldn't really do the, I guess, inaugural inaugural head coach introductory press conference until Thursday today. So we got to react to it. We got to talk about the new era. I haven't really given my thoughts, especially from a live stream standpoint and raw and like just where I'm at mentally on this and just where we are as a fan base on it yet. So it's about that time. We were overdue. Y'all be asking for these live streams. I got one going today, man. Let's go ahead and get into it. I'm suited and booted. I got on some UB gear and I got on this diamond NFL but pro player, I think it is, hat. So man, I'm feeling pretty good. My first time rocking this fresh hat that I got off eBay. So we rocking with this. But I'm getting in these comments. Where we at? Where we at? Oh shoot. Here we go. Said Thirsty Thursday, and I'm thirsty. Carolina Panthers fan. What up, though? Say he thirsty, huh? Say he thirsty. Freddie said NFC South champs or bust. You know what they say about assuming and expectations. We should have learned our lesson last year about expectations and stuff like that. So this is Bryce and Brady's Belichick era for real. All right. Maybe. That'd be cool. 6 Super Bowls. I would love that over the next 20 years. I'd take that. So I feel good about our Panthers keep pounding. So I watched that. I really like how Dave nervous and kind of stumbles over his words. It shows that he's a snobby rich kid that doesn't care what happens as long as he gets a paycheck. Yeah. That's one way to put it. That's one way to put it. What up, though? First day of February, man. Yep. Uncle Quan, what up, though? What's good, bro? Dave is not a rule. See, that's so much better there. Glenn White, what up, though? Kevin said, I think we got a chance, bro. Do we? We got a chance? We're going to talk about it, man. Y'all make sure y'all give the video a thumbs up. Please, if you are not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button as well. My name is Aaron Duncan here with the Necessary Blunt, the Sports Talk recap and analysis of Carolina Panthers is what I do on this channel. A lot of draft content, off-season news, live streams like this, podcasts, stuff like that. So if you don't want to miss anything, holla at your boy. Holla at your boy. Hit the sub button. Hit that like button as well. I really appreciate y'all. We got 89 people watching right now. 14 likes. We got to get the likes up. The likes are free. It don't cost but a thing. It don't cost nothing for a like. So please, please, please. My boy Tim Estes, what up, though? What's up, bro? So I like what Dave and Dan had to say. Now we got to see the results and moves. Go on, say I refuse to get my hopes up again. Look, man. We got to talk about it. We got to talk about it. Got to talk about it. Got to talk about it, man. So, but yeah, man, we got to talk about some things. We got to talk about some things because they said the right stuff. They said the right stuff. But it's hard for me to buy into it when we just did this exercise a year ago. Like it was 12 months, 365 days, 52 weeks, whatever you want to call it. We just did this exercise. We literally just did this. We've been here before. Y'all bought in the rule where he was preaching with the organs in the background. Y'all was sold on the nostalgia with Frank Wright with the videos. And y'all right back in the front of the line. Looking for a reason. And they gave y'all a reason, man. They said a lot of good things. Said a lot of good things, man. Said a lot of good things. Richard Fearing, what up, though? Ben Watts, what up, though? So basically, it's a rundown what we're going to get on today. Obviously, we're going to talk about the press conference. We're going to talk about the coaching staff update. And then we got to be on a Jero Rivera watch. We heard some stuff come out about him maybe wanting to be back, but I don't know if anything's been set in stone. I don't know. And then we're going to talk about the front office change, okay? Got a lot of things to talk about, man. We're in a new era. We're in a new era. Era. But please give the video a thumbs up. I'm going to keep saying it. Give the video a thumbs up. Give the video a thumbs up. Give the video a thumbs up. It really helps me out. The engagement means everything. Literally means everything. There's a thumbs up button that it's not going to cost you. I promise you, it won't cost you to hit a regular like. It won't cost you. It won't. So please take 2 seconds and do it. All right? 98 people watching, 27 likes. The ratio, the math ain't mathing on that ratio. The math ain't mathing. The math ain't mathing on the ratio. You know what I'm saying? But let's go ahead and get into it, man. I ain't really gonna waste no time because I still gotta go to the gym. I gotta get to the gym, y'all, because if y'all been watching me for a while, y'all know I did my combine video last year, my pro day video, whatever. I gotta do it again. I gotta beat my numbers from last year. I'm trying to be in the gym. I'm trying to get my bench press reps up. I did 18 reps last year. I'm going for 20 reps of 225. I gotta get a faster 40. I ran like a 5 flat. I gotta run a 4.8. I gotta run a 4.8. I got to run a 4.8. But we'll see. I gotta get my numbers up. So I'm going to the gym. Kateris, what up, though? What up, though? So be rich, what up, though? But so Dan Morgan and Dave Canales were introduced today. What did we learn? There was a lot of stuff spilled today. A lot to unpack. I guess the biggest thing I wanted to talk about is just like they asked him, Dave Canales, why he took the job. And I thought it was very, very interesting. Very, very interesting comments. Now, we know this wasn't the most desirable job in the world, obviously. Nobody wants to work for a crazy boss. Nobody does. David Tepper's doesn't have the most ideal workplace conditions. But you're going to get paid. You're going to get paid for a long time. Dave Canales, whether he's here or not, he got a 6-year deal. Generational wealth. He got 4 kids to feed. He's got plenty of money for that. So, one reason to take the job. But I thought his answer was pretty interesting because a lot of y'all in the comments, you know who you are. Y'all said nobody wants to work for Tepper. I agree. Nobody wants to come to a place where you don't have a first-round draft pick. Not true. Nobody wants to be stuck. Y'all said stuck. Y'all use the term stuck. Y'all use the term stuck with Bryce Young. Y'all said nobody wants to be stuck with Bryce Young. That's crazy. Stuck was the word y'all used. But what did Dave Canales say? Dave said the opportunity to work with the number 1 overall draft pick arose. Said we never really got close to the number 1 overall draft pick. We never got close. But this is my opportunity to do it. We did the homework and scouted him coming out. See, y'all don't realize that even though you're not picking at the top of the draft, you still do homework and scout these draft picks. You always do your homework on them. Always. Why do you do that? Because you just never know what wires or what bridges or what paths you'll cross. This was an instance where doing the homework on Bryce at some point was helpful. I mean, because Seattle, maybe they could have traded up last year. They had a high pick last year because they traded with the Broncos for Russell Wilson. So they did some homework on the quarterbacks. You just never know who's going to fall. But at the same time, you always do your homework on these quarterbacks because you just never know. And the fact that your homework could come back to help you later is a thing. Because look at us. We did not pick a quarterback in the 2018 draft, but the fact that they scouted Sam Darnold at some point, Scott Fitter did, Matt Rule did, stuff like that during the pre-draft process years ago. That really kind of played a part in Sam Darnold coming to Carolina because of the homework they did a while ago. So they scouted Bryce regardless. So he already had that legwork already put in on Bryce from afar. Obviously, with the Bucs, you see a little bit of Bryce. He's an offensive coach, so he wasn't scheming against Bryce. But you see it. You play against it. You pay attention. It's hard to ignore. He's a number 1 overall pick. He's in your conference. In your division. So we saw him. But then he said he's been watching film on it as well, and it's just something that he wanted to challenge. I talked about in my other video, and he mentioned it too. Nobody really wanted that Bucs job. Tom Brady had retired. Everybody thought this was a massive rebuild. You were going to have to work with Kyle Trask. Kyle Trask. And maybe Baker Mayfield, who just really didn't show anything with the Carolina Panthers the year prior. It was an ugly job. But Dave Canales stepped out on faith and took the job as offensive coordinator, a chance for him to get promoted, and it paid off. It paid off immediately. He parlayed that into a head coaching job here. So he was up for the challenge. Somebody that's hungry for this opportunity, not somebody that's going to do some virtual interviews, think about it, sit on the fence, wait for a playoff game to be done, and then wait till you get on the airplane and back out. No, not somebody that's half-stepping, that may or may not want to come here, that's asking their buddies via text message, what's it like to work for David Tepper? Nah. Dave Canales is all in. He wants to work with Bryce. People forget, Bryce Young was not a consensus, but a lot of people had Bryce as QB1, not just us. As much as y'all may hate Bryce, people respect Bryce. He's only been in the league 1 year. Y'all think because he's been in 1 year, he's a bust? No. Dave Canales said that him being in a year is almost like a cheat sheet for him. Because now he sees what Bryce Young likes, what he doesn't like. He's seen all the decisions Bryce has ever made in 16 games that he played. It actually gives him something to work with instead of just going from scratch and seeing what Bryce will be like. So it actually helps him that Bryce Young has experience and makes him want to come to Carolina. I thought that was very, very interesting. Because like I said, people just kept telling me that Bryce was going to be the reason why nobody wanted to come coach. And the way that Ben Johnson been fooling around ended up being a great decision to settle on Dave Canales. Kudos to David Tepper for not sitting around waiting on Ben Johnson. I got to give him a little bit of credit, man. Kudos to him for not waiting around. And so Canales, man, I like the fact that he's embracing the challenge, man, because this franchise at the spot is at is definitely a challenge. It's definitely a challenge because David's saying the right things, for sure. But I just thought that with him and Dan Morgan, I talked about it in previous videos, man. I'm willing to give these guys a chance just because they're on the same page. We have not had this in 20 years, over 20 years. Over 20 years since we've hired both the head coach and our general manager. It's been that. And it wasn't my first choice, wasn't my second choice, wasn't my third choice, wasn't my fourth, definitely wasn't my fifth either. Yeah, wasn't my fifth for sure. But I'm willing to give him a chance. I'm not going to kill him right away. But you're not going to get me drinking the Kool-Aid. I'm just going to drink my body armor. I'm not going to get my hopes up. I'm just going to play it day by day, take it move by move. I'm done with the nostalgia. I'm done with the propaganda coming from Panthers.com. I'm done with the heartfelt roundtables. No disrespect to the legends. I'm done with the thinking about the good times and the bad times from before. I'm ready to make some new memories. And until we start making moves that show me that we're going to be making new memories to think about instead of stuff from 9 years ago with 2015, which is crazy to think about. 9 years ago since we went to the Super Bowl, or 7 years ago when we went to the playoffs. Until I see moves and wins in the regular season that show me that we're on the right direction to start making new memories instead of having to reminisce about 2003 or 2015. I'm good. I'm not gonna be drinking the Kool-Aid. Y'all can have fun. I'm not gonna rain on y'all parade, but we need to be realistic. These dudes are inexperienced. He was inexperienced. Canales, he said he was nervous. I respect the humility. I respect the humility because we know somebody that was inexperienced that came here that was full of himself. He was coined a program builder. He came in thinking he knew what he wanted to do. He was given full roster control. Was not humble at all. He had the brand. He was one of us. The DBO sign. Was not humble. So I respect Canales coming in here with humility. I respect it. But like I said, he's still inexperienced. Only 1 year of calling plays. He does not have the talent here that he had in Tampa. We're going to learn a lot. We are going to learn a lot soon and very soon. Because like I said, Dan Morgan, I like what he was saying about alignment. The theme, there's always themes. There's always themes for these pressers. There's always themes. What was the theme today? The theme today was alignment. Alignment. What was it last year? Collaboration. Diversity of thought. Collaborate. What was it with Matt Rule? The brand. Program building. Sustained success. Long-term success. The brand. But this time, it's alignment. There's always themes to these press conferences. We've done enough. And we've done enough in a short period of time that you guys should learn. So it's hard for me to really just be completely sold and drink the Kool-Aid off of a press conference. I need to see actions, bro. I need to see actions. I still got to be convinced that Dan Morgan ain't Scott Fitter. He even shouted out Scott for giving him a chance. But I gotta be convinced. They got to show me. They have got to show me. I'm about action at this point, man. I'm not, like I said, I'm not for the propaganda coming from Panthers.com. I watch it, but they're not going to get me. They're not going to fool me on the propaganda. They got me last year. Y'all know I love nostalgia. All the vintage stuff I got, y'all know I love nostalgia. I got a Frank Wright jersey with a signature on it. That I ain't gonna do. What can I do with that? What can I do with that now? Put it in the frame or something? An autographed Frank Wright Panthers jersey. I didn't pay a lot of money for it, thank God. But what can I do with that now? They got me on the nostalgia. I'm not gonna lie. They had me in the first. They had me in the first half. I'm not gonna lie. So it's gonna take me. It's gonna take more. It's gonna take me more for me to buy in. I'm sorry. It's gonna take more for me to buy in, but I'm not gonna hate it. I'm not gonna hate on anything they do. You're gonna get the most objective dunk y'all have ever had from my channel. I try to stay pretty objective, but I know I sprinkle my little fanhood in there. But this is the most objective dunk you're probably gonna get from me. I hope y'all ready, because you may not like it. You may like it. You may not like it. You may not like it. But I like what, like I said, collaboration was the thing, and that ended up blowing up in their face because they thought you could just throw a bunch of guys in there and they're professional enough to figure it out and get the best for. They ended up being too much noise. Collaborate ended up being too much noise. Too many voices in the ear. Too many. Ended up being a train wreck. Alignment. And they tried to ask him what alignment was. He pretty much just said everybody on the same page. From ownership to the front office to the coaching standpoint to everybody that works there, everybody's in alignment. I'm with alignment. Because when you're aligned, we know exactly who to blame when stuff goes wrong. That's why I like alignment, because it should breed accountability. Because there's been a lack of accountability around this organization since David Tepper has purchased this team. Jerry Richardson was held accountable. That's why he got up out the paint. But there has not been much accountability since. Matt Rule came in with Hurney. Oh, no. I mean, Hurney was the GM. Was fire Hurney. Come to find out, Matt Rule had final roster say so anyway. So there was no accountability there. Brought in Scott Fitterer. Matt Rule, it blew up in Matt Rule's face. Brought in Steve Wilkes. Steve Wilkes was accountable. He was straightforward. He talked about things, wanted the opportunity, and they blew that just to get Frank Wright in here and for it to blow up in their face. No accountability. David Tepper, what do you like? No accountability for who's going to hold him accountable? That's the thing. None. But then you finally you fire Frank. You keep Scott for a little bit, and it's like, dang, where's the accountability? So you finally clean house. You rearrange more than anything. I'm a little bit suspect about that. But look, man, it's like I said. Now that we have alignment, we can have some accountability because ain't no blaming. Oh, so-and-so had roster control. Let's give Scott a chance. Matt Rule had roster control. Let's give him a chance. Oh, Marty Hurney had roster control. Let's give Rule a chance. Nah, we know exactly everybody's on the same page. So if the ish hit the fan, we know who's responsible. You're going to get clarity on who's responsible because everybody was on board. Because somehow, some way, they've convinced us that Dan Morgan, the assistant general manager and best friend of Scott Fitterer, was just kind of sitting by the wayside, letting Scott Fitterer run amok and make bad decisions. Okay. All right. That's what they told us. Okay. I was born that night, not last night. Just saying. So I'm going to give it a chance, but they're going to try to convince us that. All right. All right, cool. I'm just wondering. But like I said, we'll know. We're going to find out soon and very soon. Soon and very soon. We're going to find out how much different Dan Morgan is than Scott Fitterer. Because all the scouts are the same. All of those scouts are the same. They just changed the man at the top. Apparently, all this collaboration talk they was telling us, apparently Scott Fitterer wasn't collaborating with anybody. He was just doing his own thing. He was just running them up, freestyling, freelancing. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's the thing. We collaborated until it was time for Scott to make a decision. And then Scott did his own thing. Okay. All right. Cool. I'm just saying something to chew on. Something to chew on, y'all. But I like I said, I respect the idea of alignment and everybody having the same common vision. That makes sense. Dan, he was talking that talk a little bit though. He was talking about wanting to bring in dogs, wanting to get tough players that are excited about playing football. He wanted to bring fear back to this logo. He wanted people to fear that logo. He wanted people to fear when they're going to play the Panthers. There was a time. There was a time. When we were tough. There was a time when we ran for 100 yards as a team for hella games in a row. We knew exactly what we were going to do. I understand what he's talking about. And I like what you said, Promise QC said, I'm not going to give Dan Morgan the benefit of the doubt, but I'll give him a second chance. That's a good way to put it. Dan Morgan doesn't get the benefit of the doubt, but he gets a second chance. He gets to start over fresh right now. You get another chance. But we're not going to give you the benefit of the doubt and say that you just wasn't with Scott. Because if you start making some suspect moves, it's going to start looking like it's more of the same, which is our biggest fear. But I like how Dan did say that he wanted it seemed like they have a vision for the type of players they want. Shouted out some of the OGs that was there. Stewart, Massin, Steve Smith, Thomas Davis. And even on the other side interview, he talked about how quickly things can change. He talked about his rookie year. They won that first game and then lost 15 straight. 2 years later, they're competing for a chance for the Super Bowl. Things can happen fast. Like I said, I'm patient and I'm understanding and I'm realistic. But all this, it takes time. It takes time stuff. I'm not fully buying into that all the way. It does take some time. It's not going to be overnight. I understand that. But for me to see the Houston Texans or the Indianapolis Colts or a team like the Jaguars for a couple years ago turn things around and go from like worst to first, picking top 5 to being in the playoffs, why should my standards be any different? Why shouldn't we expect better or see what's possible? Teams go worst to first all the time. This is not something that's rare occurrences. It happens more often than you think. When you have competency and people on the same page in alignment, stuff can go right. But to me, they've been preaching patience for forever. Ever since David Tepper wrote that letter to PSL owners saying it may not be overnight, it may not be tomorrow, but we're trying to build something sustainable. They've been preaching patience since 2017, 2018. We've been patient. Apathy is at an all-time high. People really don't care about the team. They don't. Interest is low. People are embarrassed. They don't care. You know what I'm saying? They don't. Give them something to be proud of. Give them something to be excited about. Give them something to show up for on Sundays. You know what I'm saying? Give them something to believe in. Clearly, they're going to drink. Clearly, a faction of the fan base is going to drink the Kool-Aid regardless. But there's a good faction of it that don't care. They want to see results. So we'll see. But I want to talk more about what Dave said, though. I want to talk about what Dave said. Because they talked to him, asked him about his play calling and his playbook and stuff like that. And I look at Dave and just looking at some of his prior interviews. He's young, he's sharp, enthusiastic, but to me, like, he seems very practical, which is fine. You don't have to be some wizard or boy genius just because you're 40 years old and you wear tight long sleeve shirts. Everybody ain't got to be from the McVay tree. Everybody ain't got to be Ben Johnson or whatever or whomever. But he seems very practical. Like he doesn't seem like nothing doesn't seem that complicated. So they asked him what he's gonna do. He said we're gonna lean on our strengths pretty much. Not necessarily have a system. He just talked about, I forgot the exact quote, but pretty much said that we're gonna be us. We're gonna find out what we do well and lean into it. He talked about Bryce. He said make the strengths second nature and make the weaknesses strengths. Practical, doesn't seem very complicated. Sounds good on paper. You assess the personnel and do what we do well. He said, what kind of runs does Chuba like? Very interesting to say Chuba. Chuba was the leading running back. Sounds like Chuba will be RB1 going into next year. But he said, what does Chuba do well? What does Bryce do well? And lean into that. He said we're going to be what Bryce is great at. That was like, okay. Which is funny. I mean, people are so like head over heels over that, like it was some crazy thing. No, it's very practical. That's what you're supposed to say. You're supposed to say, you're supposed to do what your players are good at. That's not some phenomenon. He's very, like I said, I'm not knocking him. He's practical. It's just the fact that we've seen a guy like Frank Reich not look at the personnel or not be aligned with the front office, what's been put together, and try to do the opposite. Square peg, round hole. So I know fans, it's just music to their ears, but like, this is what you're supposed to do. You're not you're supposed to do what your players are good at. You're supposed to look at your personnel and lean into their strengths. I mean, you have an identity, you have things you want to do and philosophies, but you're supposed to take your personnel and do what they're supposed to do and do what they're good at. I mean, this is not rocket science. Football is really not that complicated. Like I said, I'm not hating on them. I appreciate it. It's just funny to me, the reaction of people eating it up. That's what you're supposed to do, man. You're supposed to do what you do well. That's what Steve Wilkes did. He looked at what we had, said, dang, our quarterback's not that good. Our defense has some injuries. Our offensive line they can run the ball. We got a big running back. Got a little scat back behind him. Let's just run the ball and keep the game close. We'll control the line of scrimmage. Worst case scenario, we protect our defense by running the ball. And we'll pick our spots off of play action. But we'll try to take the ball out of our quarterback's hands as much as possible. We don't want him to mess up. We don't want him to do anything. Like we know we have Sam Darnold. He's prone to make mistakes. So let's run the ball to get it to a point where he doesn't have to have opportunity to make mistakes. He assessed what we had. He assessed what the team had, and he leaned into it. That's what coaching is. That's what coaching is. Like, and it's sad that we've gone so far away from coaching, proper coaching, that people can't just see that, okay, this makes sense. It's some groundbreaking phenomenon when it's not. That's what you're supposed to do. That's what coaching is. Take what you got and make the most of it. Jerry Vera was coaching last year. He realized he has a system, but he said, okay, hey, are we good enough to stop the run? Probably not. Let's give them a run and let's not get beat for the pass on big plays. A lot of people in the NFL do this system as well, but you make teams nickel and dime you down the field, they're bound to make a mistake. Teams aren't good enough to execute double-digit plays in a row consistently. So let's just sag off on the pass. Don't get beat deep. Keep everything in front. Let's tackle there. And let our playmakers try to make some plays and play keep away. It worked. Ajiro assessed what we had and leaned into it. I'm sure we'll churn the roster a lot more if he stays around. We'll get a lot more personnel on defense to get more people that he wants. But regardless, I think like that's what coaching is. You look at what you got. There's a salary cap for a reason. You're not going to be able to plug every hole. It's about doing what you can to put together a team and cover up those holes and those weaknesses. What can you do to cover up those holes and those weaknesses? Like, what can you scheme? What can you coach? What plays can you run to cover up those? You're not going to have a perfect roster. You're not going to. So coaching is where it comes in to fill in those gaps. Kelvin said, overly objective dunk already making enemies. You see it, right? You see it, right? Shout out to Dylan for the super chat. Oops. Shout out to my boy Dylan for the super chat. He said, pack of diapers on me. Look, diapers ain't cheap either. And babies do not stop pooping. I appreciate the dub. I appreciate that $20. It means a lot. Mr. Hunky Dory with the super thanks. So can we say second rookie season for Bryce with new staff? Anyone's thoughts welcome. No, I mean we learned. Bryce learned. Bryce got some experience. He'll get to run it back. You know what I'm saying? We still get to judge Bryce off of what he's done before and what he's going to do. The experience will help. Hopefully it didn't break him because he's not a rookie anymore. The damage has been done. Unfortunately, there's no going back. The damage has been done. The 62 sacks, they happen. The lack of receivers getting open, they happen. The coach getting fired during the year because he was trash, that happened. The whole team imploding because of misalignment on the coaching staff, that happened. Whatever damage was done to Bryce's confidence, that happened. So the rookie year, he doesn't get a second rookie year, unfortunately. Unfortunately, the damage has been done. But that's the cost of doing business with David Tepper as your owner, trying to put together an all-star coaching staff. You wasted a year. Not only did you waste a year from Bryce, but you waste a year of him being on a rookie contract to build the roster. That's the whole allure of having a rookie on a rookie deal. You build up the rest of the roster, spend money everywhere else because you're saving money on quarterback. They wasted that year too. Shout out to David Tepper. Shout out to David Tepper. But back to the presser, man. But I did like some of the stuff. Like there's certain philosophies that he had, and I think coming from that Pete Carroll tree, that's the one thing I'm kind of looking forward to. That's the one thing I'm looking forward to, a different perspective. Because Pete Carroll, to me, he seems like a very practical coach. Like analytics are a part, but he's more about high energy, high motivation, building these guys up, putting competition together, having guys in place, doing looking at your roster, like practical stuff, practical old school coaching, giving your guys confidence, putting guys together, having philosophies, putting them together, being practical, having certain benchmarks and philosophies you want to stick with, but being flexible to the point that you don't have a system. They asked him what it was, what he thought about the successful formula, and he said being crazy about the ball. Being crazy about the ball, like getting takeaways and taking care of the ball. Winning the turnover battle is the easiest way to win games. You give yourself extra possessions. It's crazy for momentum. But you give yourself extra times at the plate, extra swings at the bat by getting extra possessions and turnovers. That's pretty practical football stuff. That is winning football. Winning the turnover battle is the simplest way. Now, how do you get to that? Do you work on stripping the ball in practice all the time? Do you do ball protection turnover twice a practice instead? Do you reward guys in practice for getting fumbles? Do you incentivize that stuff so it leaks over into the game? There's certain things that go about it to get that. You have the philosophy and you work backwards from there. It's practical stuff. Like I said, I respect the practical stuff. And I feel like that's what Pete Carroll is, a very straightforward approach. Very knowledgeable. You know what I'm saying? But the other thing he said was defense, which we have. We think we have a decent one. The run game, which is cool. He didn't have that in Tampa, but the run game. Then he said explosive passes off of the run game. So let's talk about that. Defense. Defense, obviously, if they can't score points, they can't win. You need a good defense. Cool. Run game. Run game controls the line of scrimmage. It's very disheartening to be able to run the ball at will. The concept of telling somebody across from you, like, hey, we're trying to run this ball. There's that area that you're behind. There's some green grass behind you that we're trying to get to. We're trying to get there. We're going to line up, push you out of the way so this guy behind me can run through and get to where we're trying to go. There's something mentally about being able to run the ball. Like, being able to run the ball at will is better than being able to pass the ball at will, in my opinion, just because it's so demoralizing. You can make mistakes sometimes when you throw the ball, even when you're cooking. You can get sacked, you throw a pick. But running the ball, you take the guesswork out of it. The ball's not in the air. You can fumble, of course, but you can fumble on any play. But running the ball at will is just so disheartening. So it starts with the run. Because if you can't stop the run, it makes people overreact to it, and then you can play action off of that. And like you said, explosive passes off the run. Use the run to suck up the defense, pause, and then the areas that they've avoided, you attack. It's very practical stuff. This is not complicated. Football is not that hard. I know they have analytics these days and all this stuff, but football ain't that hard. This is practical stuff, which is probably what we need. It's probably what we need, to be honest. But this is not complicated stuff. But the one thing I did hear, like that I heard, is getting the ball out in 2.7 seconds or less. He said this is critical. It's critical to get the ball out in 2.7 seconds or less. He talked about why. Because of protection. Now, all these metrics that go around and stuff like that, I think pass rush win rate is 2.5 is that benchmark. 2.5 is the benchmark if you get a win or a loss. But if you can average 2.7 seconds, that's right there after it. Not much after it. But that's getting the ball out quick. That's getting the ball out quick because, like I said, protection-wise, you don't have to block that long. So if you have a trash offensive line, they ain't got to block that long. They don't. So I think that's practical stuff. Get the ball out quicker. You don't get a chance for them to get there. But you will see what happens. Brody in the comments saying that they saying that Brian Burns is near a deal to be traded. Bleacher Report is saying that. I have not seen that. I can look it up now. To be traded to the Ravens. Yeah, I don't see it. I don't see it. We'll see. We'll see what happens, but I don't see it thus far. But they fumbled the situation. We'll see what can happen. I mean, Bleacher Report, they always do these hypotheticals. So I would, like I said, it's off season mode, man. It's off season mode. Don't believe anything. Believe half of what you hear and none of what you none of what you see. No, believe half of what you see and none of what you hear. Ain't that what they say? Oh, y'all should have let me know who the sources was. I'm good. Yeah, I don't. Yeah, we'll see. They've been rumoring it. They've been rumoring that for forever. Uh, but 2.7 seconds, like I said, is critical for that. For it said for protection because of 2.7 seconds. That's pretty quick. That's pretty quick. So let's look up Bryce Young's time to throw this year. What was Bryce Young's time to throw this year? Let's look at it. Let's go to his premium stats on Bleacher Report. I mean, on PFF. Oh, I said Bleacher Report. I got Bleacher Report in my head. Bryce Young's time to throw was 2.9 seconds. So we'll have to get Bryce Young's time to throw down 0.2 seconds. Doesn't seem like a lot. Does not seem like a lot. But under pressure, Bryce Young's time to throw is 3.63. Meaning he's scrambling around, trying to make some plays. Yeah, I mean, if you want to say Bryce holds the ball too long, I wouldn't argue. So getting it down to 2.7, that gets it out quick. Tua Tagovailoa, they did the same thing with Mike McDaniels, getting the ball out quick. He's an anticipatory thrower. Get some speed so he can get the ball out fast, but make those decisions quick. Help him get the ball out quick. If you take out all the thinking and just make them make quick decisions, you get them moving faster, speed up their pace, speed up their clock. They'll be more decisive as well. So you're not second guessing coverages. You can process that stuff. He's smart enough. They talked about his processing. He's smart enough to get that stuff done in 2.7 seconds. So let's push that. Let's lean into that. He should be good to be able to shave 0.2 seconds off his time to throw. He was at 2.9. Dave Canales wants to get it to 2.7. Because I think Greg Olsen said it. If Bryce Young's strength is his brain, it don't matter in the NFL. Because there's stuff in the NFL he hasn't seen. So it doesn't matter if you can process. If you can't process stuff that you haven't seen, it don't matter. If you're not familiar with it. What is being on the pro? You can't process what you don't know. I could be able to process coverage is good. But if you put me in the back, if you open up the back of a computer or a laptop and tell me to process what's going on in there, I'm not gonna know, even if you give me the manual. if you haven't seen something before, it doesn't matter if you're good at processing. So I don't understand the people trying to get too mad at Bryce saying that he's a fraud or a phony because we were sold on his brain and his process when he was a rookie. You know what I'm saying? He was a rookie. So getting him sped up 2.7, I like that. But also rhythm. Rhythm. That's that West Coast stuff. That's that West Coast philosophy. Instead of getting back there chilling, and we've talked about Bryce's footwork needing to improve as well. This is going to do it too. Because you're not sitting back here and just bouncing, chilling. No, it's 1, 2, 3. By your third step, the ball got to be ready to come out. You're looking this way, looking right. There's certain things as you get back. When you're taking your drop back, you're taking a 3-step drop. They'll tell you to hitch, or whatever. They'll give you 1 or 2 hitches. Stuff happens during that. So you take a 3-step drop, you may be looking to the right. Let me look to this corner to the right. By the time I get to my 3rd step, I'm looking there. If he's not there, when I'm hitching, I'm coming back to the middle. During your hitch, you gotta look to the middle. During your 2nd hitch, you gotta look to the left. Like, those are certain reads and rhythms that go on with these type of systems. You're not gonna be in rhythm. You're not gonna be able to throw on time unless your footwork is up to par. Because there's certain things you do during that footwork. So it's going to help. It's going to help him get together. That's the type of structure that's going to help him. Looking at what you got, having your philosophies and stuff, but looking at what you got and molding it to him. That's practical stuff. That's practical stuff. That's what coaching is. So I'm curious, and I'm actually excited to see what the system will look like. We won't know until the fall, but I'm excited to actually see that what he's going to try to do with Bryce. I'm excited to see how Bryce's footwork is going to look by the time they get the OTAs. Where Bryce, if we get any kind of off-season workout videos for Bryce, see what his footwork looks like. What is he trying to work on? Because they did that with Tua. They did that with Tua. You can see Tua's base. His legs are wider. He added some weight. He's a little bit stronger in his lower body, so he can drive the ball more. There's things that can happen. You got to hope that Canales can be that quarterback whisperer like McDaniel did to help Tua. Now, there's still question marks about Tua, but there's no doubt that Tua is a lot further along than we thought we saw him last year. Tua made a lot of progress. That can't be denied. So we have to hope for that type of jump. Now, getting some weapons will be the key for him and for Coach Canales. So we'll see. But let's talk about let's talk about the offensive staff though, because they brought in a bunch of guys from the Bucs. Oh, somebody got a question. I'm not reading too much into who got named and who didn't. They didn't name J.C. Horn. They didn't name. There's a lot of people they didn't name. They didn't name Bradley Bozeman. They didn't name who. There's a lot of people they didn't name. Bryce Young didn't show up. You're gonna read into that? Like, I'm not gonna read into all this little stuff that's going on. It's just not worth my time. It's just not worth my time speculating on that type of stuff. You know what I'm saying? I'm not going to worry about who was there, who wasn't there, who the name got called, who wasn't. Does this mean Burns is going to get traded? Like, it's just not worth my time. I got too much other stuff I'm trying to do. I'm working on draft content for y'all. I'm doing Panthers news videos about real legit news that's happening. I don't really have time to speculate off of who made a frowny face, who was smiling, who winked their eye, who was scratching the back of their neck when they heard something being said, who was blinking too fast when they was I don't have time to be reading body language and stuff like that. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I got too much other content I'm trying to work on, y'all. I got too much. You know, said Corbett said the linemen were there for rehab, so it's easy to throw up. That's what I'm saying. I'm not reading into that much stuff, man. We'll cross that bridge when it happens. And no offense to y'all. I mean, y'all can speculate too. I just trying to do. I'm trying to do other stuff, man. The draft, them prospects not gonna change, bro. If you want to get my draft takes up to date, follow me on Twitter at Dunk On Demand. I'm doing a lot of draft stuff there. I'm putting the draft stuff on my channel as well, but it's not as fast. But I got my hands full with draft content, and I'm enjoying it. So, I'm sorry. You know, I'm just saying. I'm just saying. I ain't got to be so serious. Hey, look, man. I'm not. I'm not. I'm not trying to be a jerk about it. I'm just saying, bro. I'm just saying, dog. I got too much other stuff to do. I got too much other stuff to do, man. I ain't got it. I ain't got the time. Hey, Carlos, what up, though? They got six. They got 6 draft picks this year. Check out my offseason preview video, man. If you haven't seen, I covered everything about the team, where we at, and all that stuff. Brody said he appreciated me going through the prospects. No problem, man. It's fun for me. Got to get quicker getting it out, though. I got a lot of stuff in the chamber. I just got to shoot. I got to shoot it. But yeah, the Shrine Bowl is tonight. I'll be watching the Shrine Bowl a little bit. I'll keep one eye on it. Not going to be too heavy on it. The Senior Bowl, I've been all over the Senior Bowl too. But I will be looking a little bit for the Shrine Bowl tonight. Taj Washington is a guy I'm looking at. A receiver from USC. I gotta break down on him. No gossip. Yeah, I mean, I said, like, I connect dots. I don't speculate. Now, I'll go off of reports. I'm not going to read between the lines like that. I go off of I don't have my sources. I don't have sources. But I know how to connect some dots. That's what I'll do. I'm not going to speculate and just spitball stuff. But I know how to connect some dots. And most of the time, I give y'all the talking points. I'm giving talking points 3 to 5 business days in advance. I'm telling y'all about Derrick Brown. If I was Derrick Brown, if they don't pay him, he will hold out. He is not playing on the 5th year. I do not see him playing on the 5th year option. I connected the dots because he has the same agent as DJ Moore. And DJ Moore didn't play on his 5th year option. DJ Moore got his bag. I connect the dots. I'm not going to speculate and go off the gossip, but I'm not going to connect the dots. I mean, I'm going to connect the dots. I'm not going to speculate. That Ben Johnson junk, the Ben Johnson stuff, so when I said it was getting fishy with David Tepper, Rick talking about the salary, David Tepper meeting with his agent, that was connecting the dots. And lo and behold, the whole thing was correct. All the stuff that I speculated about it being fishy and going back and forth, and Tepper probably putting that stuff out, it looked like it was probably true. Because now people are saying that he was asking for too much money. It just happened. Connecting the dots. Not gossiping. I connect the dots. I look at sources, bring them together, and I connect the dots. There's a difference. There is a difference. You see, got the website pulled up. Yeah, send the link. Drop the link in the chat. All right, let's talk about it though. So the offensive staff got hired. Yeah, I know he already signed his 5th year option, but I'm saying he's gonna hold out. He's not gonna do like Brian Burns. Brian Burns trusted that they may get a deal done. And he ended up playing on his 5th year option. Now they're in a weird spot. I'm saying that Derrick Brown is going to try to get a deal or force the issue before that. That's what I'm saying. That's my hunch. That's my hunch. And that's me, like I said, connecting the dots because of the agent and seeing how Brian Burns got done dirty. Why is they playing Luke? Why did my watch just play Luke Combs? All right. All right. So the Panther staff is coming together. We hired Brad Isaac as the offensive coordinator. He was a wide receiver coach with the Bucs. Very good friends with Dave Canales. They've shown them when they were playing the Panthers, they were running laps around the stadium together pregame. They go through mock games where Izzy will be up in the box and Canales will be on the sideline. They'll work on talking to each other about coverages and stuff like that, and just they're very, very tight knit. He was he was a receivers coach with the Bucs. Now it's good to have, like I said, good to have that continuity, guys on the same page. Good to have guys on the same page. I know y'all can speculate about Mike Evans. Will Mike Evans be coming to the Panthers? That's fun to think about and speculate. Because Mike Evans, receivers coach, offensive coordinator, where he had a solid year in. I mean, that's the type of stuff that you can all right, that's a good question to ask. But I think Mike Evans is a lifer. He's a Buck for life. I don't think he's going to leave the Bucs. So it's unfortunate because he had success before Canales. So he's had what, 8 straight 1,000-yard years, something like that. So why? I mean, Canales and his receivers coach that just got there yesterday, having them there probably don't make too much of a difference, in my opinion. But if he hits that open market, who knows? Who knows? D Cash, what up, though? So when the next mock, I'll be doing a post Senior Bowl mock next week. Will we pay Mike Evans? It'll be tough. That's why we got Marty Bird. We're gonna talk about it later. We're gonna talk about the salary cap later, but Evans ain't gonna be cheap. But we also signed Harold Goodwin as the assistant head coach and running game coordinator. He brings about 20 years of experience. His contract was actually up with the Bucs, so we wasn't just really poaching. Like, I know a lot of these guys have background with the Bucs. We're pirating coaches from the Bucs. You know what I'm saying? I know it's fun to talk about that, but his contract was up, so we didn't know if they were going to bring him back anyway. His contract was up. It was the final year of his contract. He served it. It's over. You know, so this guy Goodwin, he's from Columbia. He has 2 rings, one with the Steelers, one with the Bucs. He's been tied to the hip for Bruce Arians. You know what I'm saying? For years now, and obviously Arians retired. He's kind of more of an executive spot with the Bucs now, and he stuck around with Bowles, but his contract was expired, wasn't renewed, so he's moved on. You're gonna get an experienced coach to be the assistant coach to Canales, somebody they can lean on, somebody they trust, somebody that can help. You also have Jim Caldwell, who will be a carryover, who will be working as an advisory role as well, offensively. Canales talked about that as he's only going to his second year calling plays. Jim Caldwell will be pivotal for him. So we'll see that. But he's also, like I said, had Arians ties with the Bears, the Colts, the Cardinals. We'll see that. Bernie Permally as the running backs coach. He came from, I don't know where they said he came from, but he wasn't from the Bucs either. But he has 17 years of experience. He's a former player, played on 4 different teams, so he has that background. That's somebody really outside the space as well. Rob Moore is the wide receivers coach, 11 years of experience. He was a Titans wide receiver coach last year. He was the only one that came from somewhere else that wasn't really poached from the Bucs. He was with Mike Vrabel for all 6 years in Tennessee. And he was being courted by the Jets and the Bears. And so with Vrabel getting fired, he was a free agent to go anywhere, ended up choosing us. And that's what made Sean Jefferson kiss the pink slip. Sean Jefferson was being blocked from opportunities a few times, which is crazy to me because our receivers underachieved this year. But Sean Jefferson ended up eventually taking the job with the New York Jets. So he's out of there. So, next coach, Joe Gilbert is going to be the O-line coach. Now, this is where it gets interesting. Joe Gilbert, 12 years of experience. His contract was also up with the Bucs. And he worked as an assistant. He worked with assistant coach Goodwin that I talked about for years in Tampa as well. But Tampa gave up 40 sacks last year. But they did have a top 10, like I think the group overall was top 10 rated according to PFF, which is weird. Not a very good running game. They were second to last in the league in running the ball. Gave up 40 sacks. I understand wanting to be alignment, but I mean, dog. Second to last in running the ball. What you claim is what we're going. All right. We'll see what happens. Like I said, I'm just saying. This is objective dunk. I got my Panthers blanket on, but this is objective dunk. You got an O-line coach that gave up 40 sacks. That was tied for the 12th highest total in the league. 40 sacks. No running game whatsoever. But we got the running game coordinator and offensive line coach. All right. Trill will say, who's going to be the snitch? There's not an official title for that one. Not an official title for that one. But Parks Frazier, the former passing game coordinator, he was let go. Like I said, Sean Jefferson, he was let go. If you're not nailed to the floor, you got to go. And then Thomas Brown was let go. He was actually hired to be the Bears passing game coordinator. Now, Thomas Brown, I think he still has a bright future. Some of y'all may hate him. I made multiple videos about Thomas Brown's play calling because we didn't have an alignment last year. There's really a lack of accountability on knowing who was responsible for that trash offense. It looked like some Frank stuff, but we were told by the propaganda machine, Panthers.com, that Thomas Brown spent all offseason building the playbook. That's why I told you guys I'm not believing the propaganda from Panthers.com because they told us. They told us it was Thomas Brown's playbook that he built, but it looked like Frank. It wasn't good. It wasn't good. So it's just hard. Like I said, without having that alignment, it's hard to find accountability. It's hard to find accountability. So, hopefully, Thomas Brown lands on his feet after this. We'll see what happens. He gets to work, goes from working with one number one overall pick in Bryce to going to another with Caleb Williams. I'm shocked he didn't go back to the Rams. But I think the whole reason he left the Rams is because he wanted to get from another McVay wing. So if he was up for an opportunity of play calling or something like that, that they wouldn't use that against him. And saying that it was McVay that was calling the plays, Thomas Brown doesn't deserve an opportunity. Because they did that with Bieniemy in Kansas City, saying that Andy Reid called all the plays, Bieniemy doesn't get any credit. So, just the type of risk you have to take, unfortunately. Yeah, they said they collaborated, but it didn't look, it was bad. That's why I said I'm not believing the propaganda machine. I want to see actions. I simply want to see actions. That's all. So, next topic, though. Let's talk about Jerry Vero. Jerry Vero, he's been up in the air. Obviously, this is once again for him 2 years in a row where the coaching staff that he joined, the offensive guy, has been one and done. Second time in a row. Now he has some contacts in the league. There's some opportunities available for some of his buddies of wanting him to potentially be a defensive coordinator. Because the last opportunity he had for a head coach was the Seahawks, and obviously that's Mike McDonald. So, Ajiro, what happens with him? Because Canales said today that he would love to have Ajiro. He said he wants to learn from him. He said that going against that Rams-style offense when he was in Seattle always gave them trouble. Clearly, last year, our defense put it to his offense last year with Ajiro's system. So I think it would be valuable from that standpoint 100%. It'd also be valuable to have some continuity on that defensive side of the ball. I 100% believe that year 2 of Ajiro's system will be the best that we've seen. Because switching from a 4-3 base to a 3-4 odd front system, it takes some growing pains. Obviously, you got to change the personnel. It's a mentality shift for some guys. I think year 2 would be great. I would love to have Ajiro around. I wouldn't blame him for leaving. I wouldn't. You get interviewed twice for the head coaching position for the Panthers, and you get passed up twice. Not very conducive for good team morale. But hence the plight of defensive coaches, plus you're a minority coach in the modern NFL. It happens. Because this is the year that a bunch of defensive coaches actually got hired for head coaching gigs, but Ajiro still got passed off. Even though he did some of the best work this year with the cards that he was dealt. It's 2 years in a row. But it is what it is. Trill once said he got like he was scared of Evero. Look, we had a offense in a blend. If it wasn't for a couple big plays by Mike Evans in that first game and DJ Chark fumbling or Terrace Marshall Jr. not lining up, we could have been in different positions against the Bucs. We could have been in very different positions against the Bucs with 2 very good defensive performances against them. So I think it's that system. It's that system of that system with what I can't even think of that Vic Fangio system. Good Lord. It's that Vic Fangio tree, that style. So I think it would be good for him for growth. He could learn from Ajiro, like, okay, what were y'all doing to really stymie us? Because we'll see that system again. We'll see that system again this year. So what did you learn? What can you learn? So I think it would be good to keep him around. Like I said, we'll see who's returning, whether it's Burns, Brown. Obviously, Shaq will be back. Will we sign Luvu? JC will be healthy. Like, I think year 2 of Ajiro's system could really be something special. We got to get some pass rushers. We got to get another big body on the inside, in my opinion, and be strong up the middle of the field from D tackle, inside linebacker, safeties. I think year 2 could be nice. Like I said, Shaq, I think people underestimate Shaq missing. Shout out to Villain Trucker for the super chat. Appreciate you, brother. He ain't had no message with it. He said he picked up the odd. Appreciate that super chat, brother. But will he feel jaded? Will Ajiro feel jaded about being passed up again? You don't want any kind of animosity. You don't want any kind of bad blood. You don't want any kind of dissension. It's not worth it, unfortunately. I would love to keep him, but it's not worth it. We've seen what happens. We've seen what dysfunction on the coaching staff can do to a team. We don't need that. They preach an alignment. You got to make sure Ajiro's aligned. If he doesn't want to be here, let him go. I know you want to block the opportunities, but if he doesn't want to be here, let him go. Let him go. I would love to keep him, but let him go if you have to. We don't need that. Unfortunately, we don't. We don't. So got a tough decision to make. Can he be convinced to stay? Will it take a raise by one of the richest owners in the league? Probably. Pay him, man. Just pay him. Throw another $2 million on top. You give him the $3 million, give him another $2 million. Put a little sprinkle a little two on top of a Tepper. Little parsley. Sprinkle a little parsley on top of that salary. So do that. do that. But last thing. Brent Tillis hired as executive VP of football operations. Now, this has been talked about as David Tepper potentially being a buffer. The alignment is supposed to be similar to the Lions, the 49ers, and this is something that I think Sportsology has coined. Having a football guy like Dan Morgan, a salary cap guy like Brent Tillis, and then obviously head coach, whomever. Dan Morgan talked about getting those coaches' contracts, how he didn't like it. He said he's ready for Brent Tillis to get to work because he ain't a numbers guy. He's all about ball. So that's what allowed them to go after him. He's all about ball. And take that off of Dan's plate. Brent Tillis comes from the Kansas City Chiefs. He was part of the mastermind that helped sign Patrick Mahomes to a $500 million contract. Patrick Mahomes got a 10-year deal, a baseball contract. We don't see 10-year deals in the NFL, people. We do not see 10-year deals in the NFL because the NFL stands for not for long. But Patrick Mahomes, he one of the ones. But he was part of the ones that thought outside the box to get Patrick Mahomes that type of deal. They restructure it. They pretty much use that money and restructure it every year, and they use it as a piggy bank. Anytime they got to create some salary, they'll go to Pat. They'll restructure his deal. Free up some cap space and keep it pushing. They've somehow masterminded, like I said, as a way to be a piggy bank to finance the rest of the squad. He also did some hickory-dickory trickery with the Chris Jones contract situation. He deferred a bunch of that money for who knows how long. I love it. I love it. This is the type of stuff that we needed, man. Like I said, I've been trying to get this type of Marty Bird accounting for our salary cap for years. How do we not have cap space? It just doesn't make sense. We don't have enough good players to not have salary cap space year after year. All the dead cap is gone. McCaffrey's dead cap is gone. That retirement from Luke Kuechly dead cap from a couple years ago is gone. Robbie Anderson's dead cap is gone. DJ Moore's dead cap is gone. How do we only still have $32 million in salary cap space? How? What was Samir Suleiman doing beforehand? Why we don't have enough good players, like I said, to not have cap space? Something got to give. So hopefully Brent Tillis can fix this situation, allow us to still spend money wisely, get Derek Brown's deal done, get Frankie Louisville's deal done, get Brian Burns' deal done, figure out what they're going to do with JC's future going forward, but still have some money to be able to be aggressive enough in free agency to get the right type of players. We may not be able to go shopping at Neiman Marcus, but damn it, I'm tired of shopping at Burlington Coat Factory. I'm tired. I mean, I do it personally in my life. Personally, I do that, but I ain't a millionaire. We need to start shopping. We need to start shopping at Neiman Marcus, dog. We got to get out of Burlington Coat Factory. So like I said, we need that Marty Bird type of accounting. That Ozark Marty Bird type of accounting. That cartel accounting. That's what I'm talking about. That's what I want to see from Brent Tillis. That's what I want to see from Brent Tillis. Like I said, no slight to Burlington. I shop at Burlington when I have the chance. Burlington actually has a lot of good Panthers gear. Said the accountant in me is starting to show up because I was like, excited about this. I was excited about that more than Canales. Said we've been shopping at City Trends, bruh. We need it. Somebody said Samir was sending money to Ukraine. Where is the money, dog? Where is the money? Like, come on. Where is the money? So start shopping at we ain't gotta shop at Neiman Marcus all the time. I know honestly the first year until we get our situation together, it's gonna be a step up. You said Kohl's. Kohl's has nice corporate business casual stuff. Business casual. You get some business casual from Kohl's, I guess. What's some mid level express express is some mid level stuff. They got mid level clothing shopping. But dang, we gotta like who's getting paid? I mean, I can look at the salary cap, but who's getting paid? Something's got to give, dog. It's time. It's time, bro. It's time. Because, like I said, I know Moten got a bag. Yeah, Express is expensive. It ain't Neiman Marcus, but it's expensive. That's what I said. We gotta get out to the department stores. We gotta get out of the aftermarket stores. We gotta get out of Burlington. We gotta get out of Kohl's, Marshalls, TJ Maxx. That's places I shop. I shop at them places. I don't want my football team shopping at them places. Don't be shopping at places I frequent. I'm trying to be economically sound. But I want my football team to be. When was the last time we made an aggressive free agent signing? Because anytime we usually do it, it's bad money spent. Then we gave Khalil $55 million. That was stupid. Let's get somebody that knows what they're doing, know how to spend the money. Like, come on, we gotta get to it. We gotta be it's time to get into a new era of Panthers. We gotta leave this old stuff alone. We need to come into the modern era of football. What's the point of having an owner with all this money if we're not going to use the cash and the accounting to make things happen? Somebody said Tepper had to pay a settlement for the drink. So the Saints got money. The Saints be doing that type of Marty Bird accounting I'm talking about. So we definitely been shopping at the flea market for wide receivers. And we can't do that. Yeah, we need Tillis to work some magic on that Burns deal, the Derrick Brown deal. You know what I'm saying? We need him to figure that out. It's been a minute, man. It's been a minute. Twan, what up, though? To sign everybody to 10-year deals. Nah, we're not doing baseball. We're not doing money ball contracts like that. We're not doing no money ball contracts. Y'all funny, man. Y'all funny. Yeah, we got to figure it out. I hope Brant tell us, like I said, we need that Ozark work. We need to start washing money like the cartel. That's what I'm looking forward to. Like we didn't hire this dude for no reason. We didn't hire this dude for no reason. We need Brant Tillers to come work some magic. I don't know what Tepper did to lure him away from a Super Bowl champion, but they said this man's office has been cleaned out for weeks. They said Brant Tillers' office was cleaned out for weeks. He wasn't going to no playoff games with the Chiefs. He wasn't going to nothing. He wasn't traveling with the team. That man been ready to go. What did David Tepper pay this man? What did David Tepper pay this man? This man cleaned out his office. They said it was been gone for weeks. Weeks. He paid him some money. Godfather deal. Godfather deal. They say he took a 2-week paid vacation and then put in his notice. Hey, man, what did David Tepper give this dude? For real. Said trade, gave that man an arm and a leg. Bro, he gave him something. That office was empty. They about to get another ring. He gonna get a ring too. He'll get a ring. He'll get in the mail. He must have already got me a ring. I ain't got to be here for this. I'm getting paid. I'm out of here. Tillis is the cap guru. He knows money. That must have been a stupid good deal. If he's the money expert, he seen the money he got paid. That man packed them bags with the quickness. That man packed them bags with the quickness, yo. Like, dang. But the draft. I'm gonna have a draft discussion. I'm gonna try to get up with JD from 4-Man Rush. He was at the Senior Bowl. I want to try to chop it up with him and just recap the Senior Bowl, stuff like that. But because there's some prospects. We need more picks. I think getting more picks would be good. Top 100 picks. We need affordable guys that can impact the team for cheap. Affordable guys that can impact for cheap, which are rookies. Top 100 rookies. This draft is heavy on offensive line and wide receivers. Fortunately for us, that's exactly what we need. That is exactly what we need, fortunately for us. So we need more swings at the plate. We got to figure out a way to get picks. We got to figure out a way to get picks. So, like I said, my next mock draft, my post Senior Bowl mock draft will be next week. We just need to get higher. I'm not mad at having 6 picks either. We just need to get higher value picks. Do we need to trade back from number 2 from our second round pick? Who knows? There's a lot of strategy to be discussed. Like I said, I'm going deep dive into full draft mode here. So y'all be ready. Y'all be ready. But let me get up off here, man. I got to get to the gym. So, yeah, I appreciate y'all tuning in to your boy. Make sure you give the video a thumbs up if you have not. If you're not subscribed, why not? Why aren't you subscribed? I would highly encourage you to subscribe. We have fun on this channel. So, I will be evaluating prospects left and right. So, let's do it. I'm telling you, top 100 picks are the impact guys to get year 1 impact. I want to find Puka Nacua. I want to find the next Puka Nacua in the 5th round. He said, I thought I worked out in the AM. I had a baby. That's what happened. I had a baby. I loved working out in the AM, but I had a baby, so my schedule be fluid. I be playing it by ear. I got to get ready, man, for my combine workout. So I got to get it in. I got to get it in. I got to find a way to get my workouts in. So I got to get ready for my pro day. Y'all gonna come to my pro day? Y'all gonna come to my pro day? I'm working on that video too. I may do a little documentary. I'm be training for it. So we'll see. But let me get up off here, man. I got to go to the gym. I'll holler at y'all. I'll be back. More draft content coming this week. I got a couple Panthers news videos coming this week as well. I'm going to holler at y'all. Peace.